Well, as you know, Central Florida continues to grow, which means folks are looking for a place to live. Today, we're talking with the Orlando Regional Realtor Association about the housing market and a deep dive into the projected outlook for this year. Here's today's In-Depth. Well, Reese Stewart is actually the new president for 2020 of the Orlando Regional Realtor Association. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming on in.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure to meet you. So let's talk about 2019 first. We'll go back in time before we look to the future.
Sure.
The 2019 Orlando Real Estate Report, what's it looking like?
2019 versus 2020. Well, 2019, as you've seen, it was kind of like a mirror of what happened in 2018 with the inventory. So basically, in the past couple years, you're kind of seeing each year mirroring the year prior to that. Okay. And that's what happened in 2019. Kind of mirrored 2018 as far as inventory, tight market. And so that's what we've seen in 2019.
What about prices?
Prices, once again, with that tight inventory, that especially in that $300,000 and below price range, that's where that inventory is tight at. And so the pricing is what's going to happen is those supply and demand. Right. We're in a seller's market in $300,000 and below. So what happened with the supply and demand, more buyers than there are properties on the market, more sellers, then that's what's pushing the pricing up.
And that's the thing. Are people buying? So are homes readily available?
They're readily available when they come on the market.
Yeah.
So what happens when a seller decides to sell, then what they need to do is, if you're a buyer, you need to be ready to put an offer in on that property right away, because the way the tight market is, the number of days on the number of days on the market with that low inventory, they have to be willing to go ahead and purchase right away, because if they say, I want to think on it, well, keep in mind, somebody said that yesterday.
Sure.
So that's the thing. So if you're in the buying and you're in that 300,000 and below, then yeah, you need to go ahead and put an offer in as soon as you can.
What are the conditions of these homes that are up for sale? Because I have the money to buy something, but then is it going to need a lot of work to renovate it?
Right, and that's where the first thing we say is consult a realtor. Because they can see what's on the market in the multiple listing service in MLS within your price range, where you're looking at, the location you're looking at, and they can start showing you properties. As far as pricing, well, that's what the seller is going to put on their property for what price they want to get. It's up to you to go in and see if it's the condition that you want it in, if it's priced right. Some properties, sure, you're going to have to renovate. You're going to have to put maybe some sweat equity in it, but some is ready to show.
But as the seller, what do I need to do to get my house ready for sale? Because I'm not going to go. I probably shouldn't spend tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars, because you may not get that money back.
That's right. And once again, when you get ready to sell, pick up the phone, consult a realtor, let them come out and look at your property, tell you what properties are selling for, similar to yours. As far as putting money into it, that is something that, between yourself and what your realtor's recommendation is. Now, just because you put in, say, for instance, a new kitchen, sometimes you're not going to recoup all that money back, okay? It's not, your return on investment is not going to be the same.
Well, somebody may come in and I like it, but that's not what I want. They're going to rip it out, and they're going to put something else in there that they want.
Once again, it's up to the buyer if they're willing to do that and pay you the price that the seller's asking for that property.
Let's look ahead to then. We're into 2020 now. What are you projecting it to be a buyer or seller's market, or kind of 50-50?
Once again, what we're predicting right now, it's going to mirror kind of what happened in 2019. We are seeing maybe a little bump in equity. That supply and demand of 3 to 5% in equity. But as far as the inventory, we're not projecting a huge move in inventory.
I've got about a minute left, but I want to talk about affordable housing and what it means for Orlando and for the year that we're in, 2020.
That is a big thing that is top of mind with the Orlando Regional Realtor Association, home affordability, especially the Sadowski Affordable Housing Trust Fund. We are talking with legislators, private entities, about legislators not raiding that fund every year because it's there for affordable housing. So we're working. One of the things that we're also working here in Orange County, one of our senior staffers is actually a chairman of one of Mayor Deming's affordable housing for all task forces. Mm-hmm. She's actually a chairman on that. So we're working with both local government and private entities to address that problem.
Now, affordable housing, that is a specific term in some cases because, you know, there are certain guidelines that make a house affordable.
Right.
Not whether you can afford it,
right,
but affordable.
And that's two different things.
Right.
Affordability and affordable housing. Affordability is someone that spends more than 30% of their income on living expenses.
Can I afford this?
Right.
Versus affordable housing.
Right, affordable housing, and there again, that $300,000 and below, that's in the seller's market. First-time home buyers, that's where we're seeing a lot of tight stuff, and people can't afford or stuff like that. The inventory's just not there for us.
Well, we're going to check back with you and see how the year pans out when it comes to the real estate market, and see if anything changes. So we know we'll have you back, Reese Stewart. Thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
All right.